So it is the 24th of December, it is morning-ish, and this is where I'm up to with the camera stand. I should hopefully get this finished today, or at least not needing clamps to hold it up. So the problem at the moment is I've got these two clamps to hold it onto the main vertical post, and they cause it to pivot a little bit rather than holding it on nice and tight. But otherwise it does actually function fairly well. It's heavier than I thought it was going to be, which is going to cause some issues with the counterweight. So that's annoying. You can see here I've got a hole in there. I thought, oh beauty, I can reduce some of the weight by drilling holes in it. A 41mm hole through 18mm plywood works out to be about 10 grams. So probably not worth it. I think I'd be better off chopping this down because I'm not sure I actually need that full extension. It's 3 roller wheels per side of the I-beam, which prevent the beam itself from tipping. Because if you remove one of the wheels, once you extend far enough, it wants to go up and then bind. I've got a wood screw in there as my locking mechanism, and that actually works pretty damn well. That's what I'll make the socket head cap screw, so that my adjustment mechanism is going to be the wooden Allen key, which I can keep up here. If you're wondering what this is sort of based on Jay Bates and Jeremy Smith's camera stands, more towards Jeremy's, though not as well done in some regards. And I'm not going to say this is better, I'm going to say this is different, that suits my needs perhaps a little bit better. The reason I went for the I-beam was because I could. Not sure it was the best choice. I think aluminium extrusion might have been better, just more expensive. This plywood was actually from the wooden case build, so that's going back, PC case build, that's going back a little bit now, and these are all the offcuts, so the material was not free, but I'm going to call it free because it was spent for that project rather than from this project. Haven't done a great job with building the actual vertical member, so I'll probably rebuild that at some stage. So at the moment, apart from the I-beam, nothing's held together with glue. Probably keep it that way. Screws should be suffice. The plan is to put my tripod head here, which is currently in use. Then down the track, I might put like a external monitor that's a little bit bigger, or some lights, or teleprompter setup could all go here, which is why I sort of gave up on the teleprompter idea until this was done, because I wanted to get it all sort of figured out. So yeah, that's coming up pretty neat. Got a bit of work to do still, but I'm happy with it. So as a result, the workshop's a mess, but we're getting there. I gave the drill press a bit of a workout while doing this project, and so far that's worked great. I did slow it down a bit with the 41mm Forstner bit, which is dull, so I'm not sure I'm really going to blame this. I think this is better for carbide bits and not a really cheap set of Forstner bits I've had for 3 or 4 years now. I think the full set cost me $50. It's like 24 bits in there, so they were never great steel to start off with. Moving on from that, I talked about the sander last video, and I've got a motor. This is from an old drill press. It's got a 5/8 inch shaft on it with a 3/16 inch keyway. So I'll probably buy some pulleys for it. I want to make it cheaper than a commercial unit, but I don't necessarily want it the bargain basement type thing. Cuffy mentioned in the comments of the last video that the oscillation is probably worth it. So I'll need a second motor to provide the vertical movement, but that'll be just a small 12 or 24 volt motor. So still pondering all of that. Speaking of Cuffy, he has started doing daily vlogs over his Christmas break, so there'll be a link somewhere. Go check him out. Good luck to that, because, well, I find vlogs hard, so you're going to be knackered after you do that, Cuffy. What else? Oh, Bob from I Like to Make Stuff. Recently put out a video on his miter saw station, but specifically improving the shroud part of it. And I really quite liked quite a few of those elements of that. So his was all made out of, I think, solid plywood, but it's done very differently to how I've done mine. So he removed his saw entirely and sort of built the shroud outside of the cabinet. And I think that's a much better way of doing it. So I think I'll steal quite a few of those ideas when MaxiPly go back to work, because it's Christmas break, because they're my sheet goods supplier. So I'll get some 12mm MDF from them and I think do a proper job of making a shroud rather than the monstrosity that I've got now. In a roundabout way, speaking of I Like to Make Stuff, he does a podcast with Doresta and Pachuto called Making It, and I got a shout out on that for my Fusion 360 video, so that was nice. And in the same week I also hit 50,000 subscribers on my main channel, so that was also pretty nice. It's been a bit of a weird couple of weeks, good weird mostly. So yes, goals ticked off, that sort of thing, so that is quite good. I probably will do some more Fusion videos on the TV unit, as I want to get started on that probably first week of January. So I think that's all I've got today. Thank you for watching, thank you for being a subscriber or viewer or whatever you want to call it throughout the year. This may be the last video for the year. Happy holidays, happy Christmas, Merry Christmas and New Year, and sawdust making time. Bye.